Peter Quill, the half-Spartax, half-human intergalactic hero, guardian of the galaxy, and emperor of the Spartax Empire, is a character that I think is often overlooked, and that's a mistake. He is much more capable than people may think, and his 616 self has proved that many times. To add to that though, I'm Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd, and we're gonna look at 10 of the most powerful variants of Star-Lord. Number 10. Beat. If you've been watching the videos I've been doing recently, then you've seen me talk about Warp World more than a few times. It's the world that formed when Gamora merged each soul in the universe with another, and trapped its inhabitants in the Soul Stone. For Star-Lord, he amalgamated with both Groot and possibly Rocket Raccoon to form Pete. You know, I can honestly say that he kind of freaks me out a little bit. I don't know why, just kinda does. But considering Peter Quill is really just a regular dude, any kind of extra abilities he acquires makes him more powerful, and I'd say being part tree is a great one. He looks like Groot, has rocket boots, and he's got Rocket Raccoon inside of him. Oh, and while at first he only says, "We are Pete," he can actually talk. Maybe not a power we want, but still. Number 9. T'Challa. In the MCU's animated What If series, we get a really awesome Star-Lord. Not Peter Quill. No. In this alternate timeline, the Ravagers think they were hired to collect the Wakandan prince T'Challa. T'Challa taught the Ravagers to change their lifestyles, and he became an admirable intergalactic icon where he took the name Star-Lord. This Star-Lord was a hero of the galaxy. He convinced Thanos to take a different path than the one he was going down, convincing him to join the Ravagers. T'Challa went to Morag, where he got the orb from the temple, where he confronted Korath and Sarkarians, who wanted the orb on Ronan's orders, and they were easily defeated by Star-Lord. He learned of the Embers of Genesis and made it his mission to acquire the Embers in order to terraform worlds to solve the issue of starvation and resources running dry, and he was successful in getting it from the Collector. T'Challa and the Ravagers found out about Ego's arrival on Earth and that he went to claim his son Peter Quill. Ego began his expansion, but T'Challa stopped him and took Quill away. T'Challa was even recruited to the Guardians of the Multiverse by Uatu the Watcher. His accomplishments are many, and all are impressive. Number 8. Kitty Pryde. In the Earth 616 reality, Peter Quill stepped away from his role of Star-Lord to become Emperor of the Spartax Empire, the empire of his father and the reason for him being near immortal and superhuman and all that. When he did, Kitty Pryde, who if you don't know had a bit of a thing with Peter, took over the role in his place. Her mutant powers obviously put her a cut above a half Spartax and instantly made her one of the most powerful versions of a Star-Lord. That's not to mention her intelligence and skill as an engineer, plus her mutant buddies also make her uniquely gifted. Kitty Pryde is already a pretty powerful mutant in Marvel Comics, but when she's with the Guardians of the Galaxy, she even becomes cosmically powerful thanks to the Black Vortex. I wonder if we will ever see this happen in the MCU. It would take a lot to figure out, but I think Kitty Pryde would at least have the intelligence and self-control not to punch Thanos while he is being telepathically subdued. Number 7. Lord Starkill. Everybody loves pirates. Well, not real pirates, they're kind of the worst, but like fictional pirates. Those guys are cool. Usually. In the reality of Earth 25271, Peter Quill has become Lord Starkill, a wanted space pirate and leader of the Ravagers. His greatest nemesis was the leader of the Zeta Flight pirates, Carol Danvers. He is hired by the great wise peacekeeper Thanos, the Just, to find the Reality Stone and bring it to Thanos so he can finally rid the universe of criminals. Instead of elemental blasters, Starkill wielded a elemental rifle, but he was generally very similar to the normal Peter Quill, except seemingly much more successful. Also, Groot is now Root, and he's a carrot. Starkill ends up capturing the galaxy-displaced Carol Danvers before both their crews mutiny on them. It's a wild ride, and it's very funny, but it has enough cool moments. This Star-Lord has his hands on the Reality Stone, which should make him more powerful, but he barely used it properly, and for that, I shame him to the 7th spot. Number 6. Old Man Quill. In the world of Old Man Logan, all the supervillains teamed up and took out huge groups of heroes, leaving America as a wasteland. But before that ever happened, Peter Quill left Earth and his Guardians of the Galaxy to take over his father's place as Emperor of Spartax, ruling for many, many years. So that's 1 point for power. Except, eventually his people were kind of destroyed. Also, the Guardians of the Galaxy passed away too, with Peter unable to save them. So yeah, he has some faults, but it's his shame that drives him to come back to Earth and try to do things right. What is kind of interesting is that he imagines the Guardians all alive in his head, and it actually allows him to be quite capable. He imagines Gamora, Drax, and Rocket all doing things that in reality was actually just him, including hacking a drone to free Fin Fang Foom in a coliseum, defeating Pulsar, and the Madrox gang. In the climax of the story, the Universal Church of Truth, the ones who helped destroy his planet and the Guardians of the Galaxy, come to find him on Earth, and he dons the Hulkbuster armor to take them on. He defeats Astra, Fang, Manta, Gladiator, Titan, Warbird, and Warstar all by himself with the Hulkbuster. So yeah, he is more than capable. Number 5. Nova. Star-Lord as a Nova kinda just makes sense. I mean, also not at all because it's Star-Lord. But he is definitely more of a hero than not. Okay, so Infinity Gauntlet was a 2015 story set in one of the realms of Battleworld. The story follows the family of a Nova who deputizes them, creating a family of Novas, including their dog. This family of Novas are collecting the Infinity Stones to try and hold back the annihilation wave that was unleashed by their ally, Thanos. Although they don't know that. Okay. But we're here for Star-Lord, I hear you say. Well, this Star-Lord and his partner Gamora are thieves, and they come into contact with the Space Stone, and they sell it to the Bacchian Nova family in exchange for 3 Nova stars. Star-Lord and Gamora end up allying themselves with the Bacchian clan as well. Now, you fast forward to the climax of the story, and Thanos has betrayed the Novas, obviously, and has unleashed a behemoth bug. Star-Lord, Gamora, and the newly discovered Groot take on this behemoth, using the 3 Nova stars to give them a significant power boost to do so. They definitely did not survive the behemoth as it released a massive energy blast, but for a short while, Peter Quill had the power of a Nova. And that's good. Number 4. Major victory. In the 100th anniversary special, Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill has faked his death, and Gamora took over his place as Star-Lord. She isn't who this point is about, but because I like you all so much, I'll give you 2 Star-Lords in one. While Gamora is Star-Lord and killing it, meanwhile Quill, in order to gain the trust of Silver Galactus, had impersonated Major Victory and took his place among the Heralds of Galactus, seemingly with all the power that comes with. He fought against his former teammates on the side of Silver Galactus, fooling literally everyone into thinking he genuinely was the Herald until Galactus had fully plugged himself into nowhere, which allowed Quill to finally disable Silver Galactus and unmask himself, showing everyone he was actually Quill. What a guy. Number 3. Classic Star-Lord. Not everyone may know this, but when Star-Lord first appeared in comics, he was not what you may expect. For starters, his backstory was pretty different. He was still half alien, half Spartan to be exact, but after his mother was killed by aliens, it prompted Quill to run away and eventually become a NASA astronaut, successfully this time, which led to him being offered the role of Star-Lord, an intergalactic police officer while aboard the International Space Station. The one who offered Quill this role, the alien entity called the Master of the Sun, bestowed abilities upon Star-Lord that included faster than light flight, self-sustenance, a personal energy force field, telepathic resistance, and an instinctive understanding of alien machinery without even having to make contact with it. His suit augmented his strength and durability and gave him the ability to travel through space, but he also had a sentient spaceship that he can telepathically link with, just in case. All of that alongside the peak human attributes he has thanks to being half Spartan. Number 2. Realm Marvel Star-Lord. The Star-Lord of Earth 9997 would be one of the superhumans who would become a member of a group formed by the now deceased Mar-Vell of the Kree called the Realm Marvel, alongside Richard Rider and Carol Danvers. Now the Star-Lord we all know from the MCU and the Guardians of the Galaxy comics isn't on par with these two. But the classic Peter, I mean if you were paying attention literally like a minute ago, he is much closer to that level of power. And judging from his outfit and look, that is the Star-Lord who is chosen as a member of the Realm Marvel. The members of this Realm Marvel traveled into the negative zone and cast their souls into the realm of the dead, but they did it in a way that their souls were not in forfeit, allowing them to help Mar-Vell in gathering souls of past heroes and villains to join the ranks of Mar-Vell's army of the dead. Number 1. Master of the Sun. One of, if not the most powerful variants of Star-Lord, is the one where he becomes one of the most powerful cosmic beings in the Marvel Universe. For a really short time, Star-Lord became the Master of the Sun, you know, the guy that gave classic Star-Lord his powers. As the Master of the Sun, Peter had the power of cosmic awareness and the ability to manipulate matter and energy. If you know anything about power hierarchy in Marvel Comics, you know that's an insane level of power to wield. He could channel cosmic energy through his element gun gun, making the weapon insanely powerful. He was also immune to telepathic influence or perception while in this form, making him imperceptible to mind readers. Truly the most powerful Star-Lord variation. There you have it, nerds! Did any of these variations of Star-Lord surprise you? Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe here at Top 10 Nerd for more videos like this one. I've been your host, Adam Andrews. You can find my socials down below, and until next time, peace out, nerds.